It would have been the fall of 1985. I would have graduated from St. Louis U Law School in May of that year. Dick Allen hired me as an assistant state's attorney and promptly named me the head of the juvenile division. I was able to practice law despite not having a license at that time due to a Supreme Court Rule 711, which allows third-year law students to practice law under the supervision of a licensed attorney. I was prosecuting a case in front of Judge Maddox, Lola Maddox, and someone interrupted the proceedings and passed her a note. And she said, we're going to suspend the case. Mr. Mudd, your mother is calling, and apparently your bar results have arrived, and she is insistent that you come to the house to find out if you passed the bar or not. So I felt a lot of pressure having everyone know that my bar results were in, and so I was dreading the thought of failing, as any aspiring lawyer does at that time when they're waiting for their bar results. And she allowed me to drive home, and my mom gave me the envelope, and I went into a room by myself, and I opened it up and happily learned that I passed the bar exam. And as a joke, I thought I'd tell my mom that I failed. And so I came out and said, "Mom, I'm sorry to tell you that I failed the bar." And she said, "No, you didn't. I held it up to the light and I saw that through the envelope that you had passed." So I came back to the courthouse and resumed the hearing with Judge Lola Maddox presiding, and it was a happy afternoon, one of the happiest in my professional career, of course, other than being state's attorney and a circuit judge. So that was a memorable moment for me in this building.
Well, D.H. Mudge was my grandfather, and he, in his day, you would clerk in a law office, or in his case, he was also a court reporter. And then you would go to law school only as much as you needed to be able to pass the bar exam. So he worked as a law clerk and as a court reporter, and then he went up to the University of Chicago, took classes for 6 months, took the bar, passed, and said it's time to go home. And he practiced law and was a successful attorney, practiced over 50 years, and he never went to college, never went to law school, except for the 6 months there. And then the shingle that I found at our family farm was in one of the barns, and I'm digging through some old stuff in there and found this, which was covered with mud dauber's nests on this side. You see the mud dauber's nest a little easier here and here. And I took it home and showed it to my grandmother and said, "Look what I found in the barn." And she said she wanted to keep it. And when I passed the bar exam, she told me, "This is yours now." And one thing I do remember, because she always talked about my father, John, being worried about passing the bar exam, was that I didn't have to worry about passing the bar exam because no Mudge has ever not passed the bar exam the first time they took it. Now, I ended up in my mother's bedroom alone, reading the bar exam results, jumping up and down on her bed when I passed, and almost hit my head on the ceiling. I was so happy. But you can remember that because law school's stressful, and when you grow up in a family that has a tradition like that, you want to make sure you follow through and hopefully, you know, do good for the profession and set a good example for others and other lawyers that come along. But I'm real proud of having this, and one of these days when I kick the bucket, Billy will take it over. My brother Bill.